funny thing about it, when Brian came to take his, he was near the other goal, the 18-yard line. The other goal. That's how far back he'd walk back to say, "I don't want to take one." You know what I mean? He's the last one to go. I found it, the first year was hard because you're not a household name, and you just want to play, but you're not playing the first year, well, the first months. But I remember walking in the change room the first day, and half me went, my negative side went, I think I'm my depth here, all these players, as you say, your Miller, McLeish's, Jim Bett, Simpson, Ewers were all still there at the time, cup winners. The negative side of me says, I don't think I'm I think I'm in the wrong place here. But then the positive side of me says, I want a bit of this, I want to be part of this, because these are all top class players, and this is where I want to be.
Well, it wasn't a successful season that first season. Second year in a row that Aberdeen had Rangers in the League Cup final. It was a 3-2 loss. David Odds with the 2 goals for Aberdeen in that. Was there did you sense growing frustration, growing anger, or a growing kind of rivalry that you'd lost 2 years in a row?
I remember, I wasn't in the first one, the second one, I was actually in the squad. I didn't get changed. I think I was 14th man or 15th man, whatever it was. But I remember being in the dressing room that day, and they got beat 3-2. It was a great game, by the way. Dodgy scored 2. I remember I was at Hampden as well. But I remember Alex Smith said to me there at that time, he said, "You'll be your turn next year," which is quite crazy how he knew that. But obviously getting beaten the second time, it must have been a bit frustrating. I couldn't really sense the mood, to be honest with you. I was just intrigued in how the game went, and watching the crowd, and I remember thinking to myself, I'd love to have a bit of this, so.
You certainly did the next season. It was a kind of a settled team as well. There wasn't too many changes. Heelhouse was the kind of big signing of the 89-90 season, but he didn't come in until November from PSV. So you started the season really well in the league against Hibs. You scored yourself a 1-0 win. Had you worked out what your position was at that point?
No. I think when Alex Smith brought me over, he must have thought I was a right back. I think I did play one game at right back at Motherwell, and I had a nightmare because I was supposed to be a right back, just standing still as a right back, and obviously Miller, McLeish, and I think Shoot McKimmie went left back because David Robertson was injured. But I've never played I was never a good tackler. A right back over in Holland, you run forward and help the attack. Right back in Scotland was different altogether, so if I was going forward, leaving a lot of space, and obviously I think it was a winger, Paul Kennard, I think it was, so very a lot of space for him anyway. I got hauled off at half times. That was a learning process. But I think it's a learning process for the manager as well, thinking I'm not a right back, I'm more of a midfielder. And I think when I was a young boy, I was an attacker scoring goals really, so that would be prepared position. So I think Alex Smith knew that after that game.
I mean, you were scoring regularly, a couple of goals in September in league as well, but the 16th of August, Albion Rovers away, Clifton Hill, ground I know very well in the League Cup, and a 2-0 win, David Robertson and Van der Ark, another Dutch import. What are your memories of Willem?
I just remember when Big Willem came over, he's just a big tall lad, so he was always going to be an asset to any team because of his height. I remember thinking that, and obviously me and Theo being there, and maybe Alex Smith thought so. Two good purchases, and maybe he kept on going back up to the Dutch league to buy more players, so maybe he thought there's good value there and what have you. But Big Willem gives you another dimension, to the team. Sometimes from off the bench, if you need a goal, a bit of Route 1 football or whatever. That was what Willem was good for.
Had you played against him in Holland?
I think I had, once or twice. I think he played for 3 or 4 clubs in Holland. But it's funny because he's actually from Groningen where I played, but he never played for Groningen. But Willem told me the story that we played together against each other for amateur teams when we were both in Holland, so I played with him amateur football when I had that 1 year in amateur football.
I'm surprised you don't remember him when you're not your neck looking up.
And 19, 20, I don't know. I can't understand. They're all tall in Holland, you know what I mean? So he wouldn't stick out in Holland, Willem.
Well, 1 week later, and it was Airdrie in the League Cup, a 4-0 win there, and you get yourself in the score sheet twice. So had you started to get yourself into really advanced positions by that point?
I think I must have done, I think maybe I started playing midfield. Well, I played midfield before I played right back in, but midfield, that's where I favoured, like an attacking midfielder. That was the position I liked, you know. And obviously scoring goals. I'd always scored goals as a kid and what have you. And I was a striker as well, so I was always known for scoring goals. But yeah, that position suits me well.
Because you scored again the next round of the League Cup quarter final against St Mirren. Bet also on the score sheet. David Winnie own goal. It's a kind of difficult question to ask for you, perhaps, because you came into Aberdeen a bit later. But did you sense it was kind of just business as usual, or was there excitement? Oh, and getting into the semis of the cup.
No, I thought it was like business as usual. That's what I loved about it. Just like all the boys had been there before and done it. You know, it was a great feeling. I thought, come on, and I loved all that attitude. They wasn't like sort of getting excited now because they're used to it. They want to go as far as well. They're used to winning cups, you know. So getting the semi-final wasn't a big deal, you know. So that was just normal ways for them, you know. So that's one thing I remember thinking. But I want to pass this because they're used to winning cups, you know. So it's a good feeling.
Was it a case of the dressing room at Aberdeen was I don't want to say disciplinary, but when you would get a backside kicking after a bad result, was it more the dressing room that would demonstrate rather than the manager coming in?
Well, the top crow, like McLeish and Miller, they know we've had a bad game, or especially Alec McLeish, you know you haven't played well. But Jockey could tell you most of the time, yeah, you know you haven't played well. Even when you have played well and you could have done better, they're still on it, yeah, which is great, you know what I mean? So you could win a game and still getting told you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you know, so kept you on your toes all the time. They're never satisfied, even if it were a big victory or whatever. There's always something else you could have done better, you know.
So you get the easiest draw possible in the semi-final, Celtic at Hampden. I think I was actually at that game. I remember it pretty well. What are your memories of that semi-final victory?
I remember being a bit of sleet, a bit of like a drizzle in the air. It's nice occasion, nice weather, nice time to play football, but a bit of a drizzle, bit of a slippery surface and whatever. I remember that. Nice night. Obviously a big crowd again. Lovely atmosphere and just the games you want to play in really.
And 1-0 victory, and it was back to the final again in October against Rangers, and it was third time lucky. What are your memories of taking on Rangers at Hampden and being in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I just that was your aim in life, you know, to play a cup final, what have you. And you know what? I didn't think negative. Just so excitement. You know what's going to happen. You know they're a big team. They're a good team. But I know we were a good team, a big team as well. There wasn't much in it at all. So whoever performed on the day. So I was very. I don't know what's the word there. Maybe you got to be confident. I wasn't ever negative. I wasn't worried about their team at all. I thought if we play where we can play, we can beat anybody. You know. So I remember. Yeah. So that was my thoughts going into the game.
When you were growing up as a kid, it was always going to be the FA Cup and the League Cup in England. You might not have focused as much on the games in Scotland, but when you were playing in those finals, was that like a crescendo for you? Was that an amazing moment?
It was, yeah, because as you say, growing up in England, there's always the FA Cup final and whatever. But this is exactly the same to me, just a big cup final, full stadium and whatever. That's what you dream of as a kid.
And it was a bit of a surprise in the starting lineup, a young Ian Jess lineup. What was the thinking behind that from what you heard at the time?
Yeah, I thought he was brave. I liked that. That's what I liked about Alex Smith and Jockey. They weren't scared to put young kids in, you know, at the deep end. And I must admit I was surprised when he was on the bench. Ian started. I thought he might have been on the bench and brought him on. But, you know, decisions like that makes you so much. We're not scared, you know, and they've got confidence in Ian as well. So I thought it was a great decision.
And he scored the opener with a particularly well-placed header.
Yeah. It all happened in slow motion when it came off the wall. Bobby Connor sent a crossing, like a looping cross, yeah. And then you're waiting for the ball's quite in the air for quite long, and you think, okay. And then you see Chris Wood sort of stranded. He was going to come, he did, and he sort of decided to go back. You think, all I thought at the time, I think Monroe's man, Monroe was marking me. I thought, all I've got to do is get me at this ball and I can score here. So that was it. So when the ball eventually came down, I remember thinking, this could be what I've been dreaming of all my life, you know. Split second, I thought if I get me into this could be it, you know what I mean? So and it went in, yeah.
And Rangers quickly countered. McQuaist enacted his fall to the floor, shall we say, with Willie Miller beside him. Was it a penalty, Paul?
I don't know. I don't think so myself, because I think McCoy is very, very clever, and he backed into Willie, and the ref gave it, So I don't think it's a penalty now.
With the VAR taking a close
I'm
look
going
at it.
VAR, but I'm not sure about VAR now. Neither. I don't know what they're doing. Don't think they get it right neither anyway, do they? So I'm not a fan of VAR. No, I don't think it's a penalty now.
Who was more at risk from Willie's wrath, McCoy to the referee?
I think it was the referee won it. He went berserk. Yeah, I think the referee. Bloody hell. I remember Willie. I think Willie. Remember the Hulk, when the Hulk used to get angry and go green and whatever. I thought, so Willie was going to do. His veins were going to pop out his neck when the referee gave the penalty. So he had to hold himself back, think not to say do anything wrong, because obviously he could have lost a man. But yeah, he was going berserk with the referee.
I think McCoy is quite famous for letting you know during the course of the game if anything happened.
Yeah.
Had you ever actually been on the wrong side of that? Had you ever had any kind of banter with McCoy?
No, never. I know he's a chief, a good lad. I know that, because Out in the case are good friends with him, whatever. And I think I met him once or twice. He's a really nice lad, yeah. But I never know. I never got involved with all that, especially obviously he's a centre forward. I was never near him, but I can imagine the defenders and what the banter he'd give them, So, but I never could come across any of it.
And then match goes into extra time. I remember one shot that's saved by Woods, and the time seemed to slow as the ball kind of trickled across the line, and then it just went out for a by kick. And then ball comes up to Van der Ark, flick on, Nicholas layoff, and then it's down to you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, if you watch the game again, about 10 minutes earlier, there's another occasion, a very similar occasion, where Charlie had the ball, and Charlie held the ball up, and obviously looking for someone to lay it off to come onto it and have a strike. And I wasn't there. And I got a rollicking off Jockey, because Jockey shouts off extra time, you're getting tired. He shouted, I should have been there. Oh, so I can see, I see this on the video. So 10 minutes later, same thing again. And this time, obviously, the same thing happened. Charlie had the ball. I was thinking, I was there this time. So I put that down to Jockey bollocking me, because you're getting tired, to go support the strikers every time. It's always a gamble. And you've got so much energy, whatever. But I know for a fact, Jockey, if him shot me the first time 10 minutes ago, that made me get up there and be there on the end of the layoff from Charlie.
What was Charlie Nicholas like as a character?
He's a lovely guy, yeah, nice guy, friendly guy. Yeah, good professional. Really nice chap. Yeah, it wasn't big headed at all. No, just down to earth and a likeable guy.
I think you must be the first person ever said Charlie's a good professional. I think his reputation in England, I'm not sure if that's just or not, but
I'm saying, well, a good professional, maybe not off the path, I don't know, but he's a nice lad on the park. He worked hard and whatever, so I had no problems with him.
And it wasn't just the League Cup that was going to be success for Aberdeen that season as well. It's also success in the Scottish Cup. Again, you were on the score sheet against Partick Thistle in the third round. It was a 6-2 win. Van der Ark were a hat-trick. And then Morton and Hearts were quickly dispatched. Heelhouse was on the score sheet. So Heelhouse had joined at that point. What are your memories of Heelhouse coming into the club?
I remember playing against him in Holland. He played for Den Bosch at the time, whatever. He's a great player then over there. He stood out over there, to be honest with you. So when we knew we signed him, I thought, so this is going to be a good signing for us, a good asset. And then his first game, I think, Dunfermline, I think he scored 4, didn't he, in his first game, I think, or whatever. Unbelievable, what a start. But he's a top-class striker, and he was a really good footballer.
Did he kind of blend in well? Was there a good kind of assimilation of Dutch players into
Yeah, that made it easy. He's good. Willem van der Ark, good friends with her. And then obviously Theo, myself. It made it easy for him to settle in. A few Dutch lads there, so there's no problem for him. He's a quiet lad, Hans, but a nice, good player.
Well, it was Hearts in the quarter-final, and then Dundee United in the semi-final. Usually Dundee United games in the Cup with Aberdeen are absolute turgid, 0-0, has to go to replay. But this was 4-0. This was Heelhouse's best pal scoring for Aberdeen. Van der Horn were
own goal.
One open goal.
Yeah.
And that was it, back into the final against Celtic. That was it was a fairly strong Aberdeen team we put out in that cup final.
Yeah, it was. But remember the semi-final against Dundee United, as you said, usually tight affairs. We just run riot that day. It was just unbelievable. I remember the young Jess was playing. We just couldn't go wrong, and we really sort of played our best football. Well, one of our best games of the season, I think, against them on the day. We went crazy. Good performance. But the actual final again, yeah. You think you're back at Celtic, you're back in the final against Celtic. Places you want to be and what have you. But what I remember of the game, it was a bit of a drab game, wasn't it? There wasn't much going on in the game, so I remember that.
Yeah, 0-0 all the way through. Got into extra time as well. You were taken off in extra time.
Yes.
Was that Graham Watson, I think it was, that came on for you?
Yeah.
Was that fatigue, or was that Alex thinking about penalties at that point?
I think it was fatigue. I think I was tired. That's not, well, I think so. Yes, well, Alex will tell you different, but I think, yeah, it was fatigue. I was getting tired. And again, it's good bringing a young lad on, Graham Watson, because maybe he's thinking, well, could be taking a penalty if it goes that far, but yeah, I think I was tired myself. So even when it came off, I wasn't that bothered because I thought I didn't have much left in me, so.
And it came down to penalties. I think this might have been the first penalty shootout in Scottish Cup history, certainly in the final. What were you like during the penalties? Could you watch?
I could watch, yeah, but all you're thinking of, obviously, you don't want any of your mates to sort of be the fall guy, that was the main thing. You want to win it. And the first 5 had gone, and we level after that. And you get other players, obviously, you don't want to be taking penalties, starting to take them. And you just think, oh, bloody hell, if he misses it, God almighty. Then you see the young Graham Watson going up, oh, poor lad, if he misses it, I don't want him to be freaking burning with that pressure, that'd be end of his career before it's even started, And when you see them all put them in, whatever, it's a good feeling, but then you still just want to win it. I don't care how you win it after that, as long as one of our players isn't the fall guy,
And Anton Rogan misses his penalty. I think, did Phil save it?
Theo saved it, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Left hand to the
and up steps Brian Irvine with a chance to win the final. Are you sitting there thinking, yeah, he's going to be a panicker, or he's going to be top corner, he's going to find a deft flick?
Funny thing about it, I'm in the dugout, so when the penalties are taken, or the players are all on the halfway line, obviously this side where all the penalties are getting taken. So when the first 5 are taken there, so obviously the next players are going to 6th, 7th, and 8th. No one wants to take them, so they walk back a bit, they back up a bit. Funny thing about it, when Brian came to take his, he was near the other goal, the 18-yard line, the other goal. That's how far back he'd walk back to say, I don't want to take one, you know what I mean? He's the last one to go. Basically walking further and further back. Seriously, he was near the other goal, near the other 18-yard box. When he said yes, yeah, he's got to go now to the last player, outfield player to take one. I didn't know what I thought, to be honest with you. I just, I thought it was getting that far into the all the players getting taken. I'll tell you one thing I thought, yeah, what happens if we keep on scoring? Did he go round again? I even thought at one stage, seriously, at the time, because it hadn't been a cup final like it, or penalty shootout, I thought, what if we go back to the next subs? The subs are going to come back on and take one or whatever. I didn't have a clue what was going to, whether they go back round or not, So, well, yeah, when Brian scored, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, So, yeah, so great.
What are your memories then of Brian's penalty going in, and was it just absolute chaos?
Yeah, I must remember, like any penalty shootout, you just all run over to the goal scorer and obviously the keeper who saved the one before, Mayor from Rogan. Yeah, it's just elation, isn't it? Again, it's a great feeling, win the cup and all your fans are happy again, and your family's in the crowd watching it. It's just a great feeling. But we've done it once, you do it twice, but yeah, this is, I like this. I want more of this,
What happens once that trophy's lifted and you go back in the dressing rooms? Do you go to a different bit of Hampden, into a players' lounge, meet the opposition, or are you just kind of whisked straight away into a variety of parties and functions?
I think it's right because you're celebrating in the dressing room. It's a long celebration as well. After that, I don't remember going 20 players home. I think it's right back on the bus, right back to your hotel where you carry on with the celebrations. That's what I remember about it.
Did any experienced professionals give you advice about your medal and how not to lose it?
No, I remember going up, I thought it was the first one or the second, maybe the first one, and Willie going up Hampden. Obviously, Willie's done it a few times before, well, a lot before, and the first time I've done it, been up there, and he says, enjoy everything, take it slowly and enjoy it. I'll never forget that. He said, take it slowly and enjoy it, because obviously it goes so quick. I remember them words from Willie. That's what's come back to me now, yeah. Take it slowly and take it all in and enjoy it, he says, so.